Okay.
What's up, guys? Lordy, I'm fucking 40. Oh my fucking god, the world's ending as we know it. Just to let everybody know, we will have people stopping in and out through the day, which is great. The show is going to be till 4 o'clock. The first about hour and a half of show so will be on YouTube, and then me and Anakin will take over Gears of War and destroy the place and beat that baddie, of course. But first things first, what's up, Anakin? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How does it feel turning the big 4-0?
I don't know. If you were logically talking to my father right now, he would say I was 4 years old, but
That's why I said 4-0.
yeah. So to me, it just feels like, every other day that's happened in the past. There's a reason why to me this is huge, and if you can share, I'm basically share the link out if you can, Anakin.
Yeah, you can do that.
But the thing is that with everything in my life, and we'll get into some of the stuff we'll talk about throughout the whole show anyways, because we're going to talk some wrestling, some sports, and some random stuff here and there. And when people pop in, we'll talk about them. This is going to be like a live version of the podcast that we normally do on the audio side too. So we'll ask guests about their favorite like match memories and stuff like that and get into life. I personally never thought I would make it to 40. With all the stuff that's happened to me in my life, all the bad stuff, the good outweigh it. And between becoming epileptic, and that story I'm not going to be talking about because the person that's involved in that is very, very close, very personal, is very close to my family, and that involves them. To having a seizure in, 2 seizures that day, having another one in 2002, having my gallbladder removed to the point where they said that it could have burst and I could have just gone right there. Car accidents and stuff, just random things that everybody says, well, that's not a huge deal. But to me, it is. This past year, like going the whole COVID scare that I had a cyst in the back of my neck and it exploded and I could have gone septic.
Oh, wow.
I mean, trust me, it's not nice waking up and just seeing everything there. But it's like all these things, I literally thought I wouldn't get to this point. Now with... Thanks, Josh. With all the things in there, all the people that's been in my life too have been very, very instrumental in becoming who I am now. Yoshi, Josh, he was in his sister's and his brother-in-law's wedding. I was a part of it. That's how I met Josh. Mark, and especially Roddy himself and Jess and stuff. No, not now.
I'll try it.
Oh, I don't want to.
I need you to try it.
My sister's baking my mom's cake that she used to make from scratch.
Oh.
Try it.
It's exactly the same.
Okay. So come.
I just got an alert that a package came. I need to go grab that really quick.
No, that's fine. I'll just keep talking about all this stuff.
I'll be right back.
Roddy and Michelle, definitely. And if they're watching, and Jess and Melissa, I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. As we joke around in our little group that we have, Michelle is the backbone for me sometimes. And I got nothing but love for her, and I'm proud of all of them. And I'll wait till Anakin has this. But Mark, especially Mark. Mark is that best friend that is like my little brother. I could cry, I could kid with him, I could shoot the shit with him. Hell, he's bigger than me. He could beat the crap out of me, but he won't do it in a manner where it's very hurting and it's unproductive. It's getting hop on it 10, 15 minutes. Okay. The other thing I was going to ask you, Anakin, before I keep talking about these stories, do you think I should just put the StreamYard link inside a tweet and just let it out?
You could. That depends on if you have any crazies that follow you that might want to pop in.
But
That's up to you.
but like Mark especially, it makes a lot of things harder because me and him have gone through everything since 07. He was my mom's favorite. Him and Jess and Melissa are my mom's favorite. And Roddy's been there through almost with him almost breaking his wrist on a steering wheel to me getting the StreamYard kind of just balked off for a bit.
Yeah, I know.
Between Roddy going with me, through me being my best man when I got married, through my mom passing, through my divorce, and up till now, he has literally been the one friend that I've had besides Jess and Melissa and his wife, Michelle, who I literally, and I'm going to say this now, and I know they're watching, I love you guys. I love you more than you'll ever know. You guys are like dead on family, you, Jess, and Melissa. And and especially Mark, he has gone to war with me. He has been in the trenches with me as a real friend should be. And you're gonna hear some loud noises because she's cooking. And in real life, he is a blessing in disguise because at that point, I don't know where I would be when I met him in 07. We didn't like each other at first, which is weird because we're so much alike in a lot of ways. We basically like the same shit, like anime, like video games. It's just like you and me, Anakin. We're big ass dorks, except he's too shy to be on Twitch and stuff. But I don't blame him. He's a very private person, and him and Josh and Michelle are literally there for whenever I need them. And that little girl, I don't say it that much, but I would literally lay my life on the line for that 3-year-old tiny tank that's theirs. And that's very hard for a lot of people to do. I don't have kids. I wish I did. And if I spoil her like she's like one of my own, I hope they appreciate that. But seriously, back to the whole thing with Mark. Mark is literally the end all, be all of existence of a brother in arms, and he is literally like the true meaning of a best friend. Like I cannot stress enough how him and Jess and Melissa and Michelle have been there in the trenches with me for the entire time. And this is why I'm talking about them, because this brings it into the community that we're in, Anakin, because obviously my sister is a part of all this because my sister literally goes to war with me and is in war with me half the time. But when it comes to the community, I wouldn't be in this community without one key person in this, and that story has been documented. And without Sean Rostap saying what he said, I would not be a part of this Fightful community. I wouldn't be part of the wrestling community. And without him and Warren Hayes and Rob Wilkins, who, by the way, go to the new channel. His show is amazing. His pilot show is awesome. You know, I wouldn't be in this position I'm in to give other people the option and the opportunities that well deserve. And I'll touch on the epilepsy part and how that started, but I know that'll make that person upset, and I'm sorry. But without that one post, that one part when I was 17 and it changed my entire life, I wouldn't be the man who I am today. So I know this person's probably going to be upset with me, but I love you, Melissa, and just know that. But at the end of it all, in the be all, I am a stronger man because of all this. I literally was left for dead. I was bleeding out of my skull. I had to crawl across a huge park that's in here in Lowell, and I was literally let for dead. That's why I'm saying getting to this milestone, getting to 40, being a part of this community has so much touched my soul. It is so ridiculous. And having you as a friend, having, in this community, having DK as a friend, Hannah, Warren, Joel Pearl, Steven Jenkins, the point guard himself, and also the chubby chief is JJ would be here, JJ, and everybody, DJ, John from Wrestling Plug Inc., just so many people, and it has literally made me a better person every day. And this is why this show tonight has more meaning to me than past shows, besides my mom's stuff, because I literally never thought I would be here. Thank you. And literally, I mean it. Like, Hannah being on the show is a game changer. Tim being on the show is a game changer. You being and Tim trying to start a stable this past Tuesday is a game changer.
What do you mean start? We made it.
But I mean, also having people that pushed me to do this show, and me doing the same thing for other people, like you wanting to do your own thing, Tim doing her own thing. I said Hannah is killing it on Twitch, and I always thought she could keep killing it. And, I think Ron can do it. Anybody in this community could do it. And I'm so proud and grateful for everything. And literally the 4 people that said hi to me in that chat have literally changed my life. And that was Jesse Davin, DK, Rob Wilkins. And on top of that, and she's in the chat, and I want to say thank you, is Hannah Marr. And then this guy here too. Wasn't in the chat then, but still. I'm just,
My OC brother.
What I'm going to say is you guys are going to rotate in and out when people pop in, and that way people get to say what they need to. But it really is, to me, important because I never thought I'd get here. I literally thought as soon as I hit 30, after I hit 30, at some point between 30 and 35, something big would happen to me and I would be gone. Like, I would have a seizure. And the best way to talk about that is that epilepsy is not a joke. If you have a seizure and it's not treated properly, you could die. And I always equate it to as me having a ticking time bomb in my head. And when it's dormant or a volcano, and whenever it feels like to go, it will go. And I always had that feeling in the back of my head that I'm not going to make it to 40. The average lifespan of an epileptic is between 40 to 56, I read. And sometimes the average lifespan is even shorter. I was starting in that short end at 30, and then I thought, okay, well, at some point this is going to happen. But I really mean it. This community has been amazing. Ray has been a great, co-host at times. Anakin's been up there. DK's been there. The roundtable that we did with that literally changed the entire format of the show. And it's Rob, DK, and Hannah literally just doing that roundtable on air and changed everything. And that's why this format's an open door policy format. It's like everybody's welcome to come in. And that's why, like I said, today's important. We're going to talk some wrestling. We're going to do some things. This is going to be a live version of the audio broadcast to give people a heads up. So if you're going to come in here, we'll ask the same questions again. It's going to get repetitive periodically. And then like around 2:30 or so, me and Anakin are going to switch over and we're going to go on Twitch for a while and try to destroy that big baddie we can't beat.
Yeah, I'll have about an hour to play before I have to get off and get stuff done. But tonight, I'd be available tonight if you wanted to hop back on tonight.
Yeah, that's pretty much the plan. So why don't we start with the audio stuff and go from there, since we'll have people revolving. So we don't have to do the week in wrestling part on this, but I've done this with Anakin about the match memories part of it on the audio side once. So I figured I might as well do a live version with Ray. Is that Ray? The question is that I ask on the audio side. I don't know if you've heard the audio podcast periodically, but what match or pay-per-view has changed your life into the point where it basically has made you become a fan, turned your life into a certain positive aspect because of wrestling, or has it affected you in any way? It's either a pay-per-view or match.
That's a good one.
You know, Anakin got flustered when I asked him that. Hold on.
So,
Oh my God!
whoa, there we go.
Yeah.
What's up?
It is the king.
How's it going, fellas?
Good.
Not bad.
I'm
And
good.
did you hear what I said?
I mean, you've said a lot of things in your day. What did you say?
I said because without you pushing me to do this show, you, Rob, and Warren, and inviting me in the story you did and everybody in the community, I wouldn't be at this point.
I
And-
think that if I wouldn't have done that, you wouldn't have a birthday. You would just go a full year and you wouldn't have a birthday. So I should get all the presents.
Hey, you want to know the honest truth? I've been looking at a Reds jersey for you for months.
I've been trying. So here's the thing. I was never a jersey guy. You sent that Red Sox one. I was like, okay, this looks pretty cool with my name on it. And I've been looking for like a gray one because I don't like the way that white ones look whenever they sell them.
Your boy got the hookup.
Man. So yeah, I'm trying to find like a gray one because I think they look a lot better. But by the way, happy birthday.
I know. Like I said, I never thought I would be here.
Old as hell. You're pushing 50.
Yeah, it says the person who looks like he's pushing 40 down there.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I'm not. Look at me.
You know what though? You're
Look at
still.
me. I look like a beautiful package. We're twins.
By the way, with the hard launch of the new channel, I have to give it to you. I set that whole thing for that tweet up about the whole Bluetooth thing. I just couldn't stop laughing, and that's why I brought it up in that super chat last night.
How are you celebrating your birthday after this? By the way, hi Ray, hi Anakin.
Hi, Sean.
Didn't bother to say hi. I don't know why.
I got to be honest. Like, there's a bucket list item that just got crossed off. I am on screen with King Senpai. That's pretty cool. I didn't think that'd be there.
Put that bucket underneath our asses and take a huge dump in it because it can only go downhill from here.
My sister has the recipe my mom made of all the birthday cakes and stuff. So she's making the birthday cakes from scratch. So she's doing the frosting and all that stuff. And then we're going to have my friend Jess and stuff over or with her boyfriend.
Oh, that's right.
And
I'm
stuff.
supposed to send you a cake too, aren't I?
Yes. And the thing is, the global bastards stopped that.
I just want to say Anakin's shipping response time is notoriously terrible.
Hey, I
2 to 3 months.
What happened there?
By the way, did you read the full letter on that when he sent you that shirt?
Yes, I have not. I didn't read Denise's, obviously.
No,
but yeah.
Okay,
You know that Crystal made that shirt, right?
Yeah. I recognized the name of it when I think I saw a tag or a slip or something. Yeah, I recognized the name.
Yeah,
I was worried Denise was gonna take it the wrong way, but I reached out to her afterwards, and she's like, "Nah, it's cool." I'm like, "Okay."
At least I got one of. Speaking of bucket list, I got one of the things on the show I wanted off of it. I got Sean on for a little bit, so again, because he popped in on a round table, that 2.5 hour round table.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
But for me, it's more so like I'm grateful for everything everybody's done. Like I said on that show that I did with you in September, right? That without you telling your story, this wouldn't have happened. And I still appreciate all that stuff. You know, like I tell people, if you want anybody's to go to ask about their own show and stuff, ask Sean. Because Sean will give you exactly straight answers. Like there's times where I
will give you intentionally terrible advice as to not develop any potential competition.
Yeah, but the thing is that there's times where you message me saying, "Hey, you need to fix this. You need to fix that. You know, do this and stuff like that." And I've been implementing it as best as I can. You know, it's just that's why I said that. You know, pointing appreciation is where it's due. My mom always told me to be humble when people give you advice and stuff like that too. So, but I might as well ask the same question I was asking Ray for you because I'm doing like a little. I'm not recording the audio side, but I wanted to ask this because you and me, Sean, did a match with memories, but it was just kind of like our old school retro review. But I wanted to ask both you this, and I'll have Ray go first since I already asked him. Which match or pay-per-view changed your life to the point where, for Sean, you got to this point in your life as a fan, and what was the catalyst of that happening? I asked the same question to Ray, so I'll let Ray go first.
So I am 31. So I was
a baby.
I was like 9, 10 years old when the Attitude Era was really getting going. I had heard, people at school had been talking about Austin 316, and I had a friend who was also named Hunter, and so he, instead of saying that he was Triple H, he said he was HAS because those were his initials. And I was like,
doesn't hit as well. Doesn't hit quite as well.
He was like, I'm Haas, and I was like, okay, dude. He was also very small too, but I was like, okay, I gotta at least watch this, and I saw, an episode of Raw. I don't remember what really was happening, but I do remember, Austin and all that stuff. And I got pretty interested in it. But as far as like match that really like brought me in was the TLC matches, really the build up to those. I still to this day remember that promo when Foley announced that it was going to happen of we'll have tables, we'll have ladders, we'll have chairs. And he did the tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my. And I was like, okay, this is going to be really, really cool. And then when I saw it, I was like, okay, this is so much different than anything I've ever seen. This is so fun. And really that tag team wrestling that we don't get enough of in that level of quality, that really pulled me back in. My fandom kind of went in and out over the last 15, 20 years. I came back to the sport after probably 7-8 years of a gap. When the Hardys returned at WrestleMania, my brother texted me and was like, hey, Hardys are back. And I was like, oh, okay, I got to at least check it out. And then seeing all the new stuff that's come in, and then kind of reading articles, and really kind of the stuff that Sean, that you've done, had pulled me back in to where now I see all these other brands. And I just watched Castle Attack this morning, watching other brands. I don't think leaving wrestling will ever happen again, because before it was so WWE centric. But to answer your initial question of like match that really drew me in, that's got to be TLC and the Hardys. To this day, Jeff Hardy's my favorite. He's not what he once was, but he's why I still watch.
I love how that came full circle. And like, because I mean, I think a lot of people would pretty well say this might not be the greatest era of wrestling right now, but there's so much stuff that it can be. Like, not everybody has to watch WWE or AEW or Impact or New Japan or anything. They pretty well get to decide what they watch, and there's almost surely something that somebody likes.
Yeah,
gotta love Rob with the Hulk. By the way,
happy birthday, brother.
All right, your turn, Sean. Which match or pay-per-view has changed your life to the point where it's got you to this part?
Well, I probably have to say the first match I ever watched, because I never stopped loving wrestling as much as the first thing I watched. And as best I can tell, that match was Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, and Ric Flair against Buzz Sawyer, the Dragon Master, and Great Muta in a steel cage at Clash of the Champions 10. Now, I don't remember anything else about that show. I just remember seeing Ric Flair standing on one corner, somebody with face paint standing in another. I remember Sting. For years, I thought it was maybe the Road Warriors, but it wasn't. But I obviously discovered them not long after that. But that's the one, probably just because I've never stopped loving wrestling ever since then.
Well, makes sense considering your yeah, by the way, I was going to tell you this. You should make a shirt based off an anime version of yourself and call it the Senpai Dong Lord, just like the old school animes.
We're about to submit a bunch of shirt ideas, so anything's possible.
That would be cool. I freaking ordered that in a heartbeat. Of course, off the screen is that whole shirt that you showed me and Rob. I literally ordered it within about 10 minutes of that whole thing. Be like, that's a good shirt, pal. Literally ordered it 10 minutes afterwards.
There were elements of that shirt that we couldn't end up we couldn't put out because we were afraid of getting sued.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that because me and Rob would literally be having conversations about funny stuff. By the way, I'm going to say this since he's on there and it says he doesn't smell today with farts. Congratulations on your pilot, my friend. It was an honor to be on it.
Oh, thanks, man.
By the way, you don't have to correct anything. The ums and the ahs are fine.
I just realized my audio was messed up. So, but no, thank you. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was, like I said, it was a lot of fun. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, check it out because it was really, really good show, and Rob basically hosted everything on his own. So it was just me just sitting there looking pretty.
Rob's getting a lot of reps in with those watch alongs too. I don't know how he was like, hey, how about a Raw watch along? And I was like, why would you do that to yourself?
I don't know. Me and Joel talked about it, and we thought it'd be a good idea, and maybe, and I think that's why. Like, why would we do that to ourselves? And that way, we can get reactions of somebody watching this show. I mean,
Well, Rob, if you
There's-
want to wait until the Raw
I love
Mania
wrestling,
when I
so
have
it's one of
off,
those
I'll join
things
ya.
where, that usually I roll my eyes during Raw a lot, like everybody else, but every once in a while, there's that one moment that makes it worthwhile, and I think that's why I think that's why it's why I always give them a chance, and it's one of those things where I think it's good. Instead of good TV, I think it's good YouTube. So why not?
And plus, Rob literally killed it on the match memories we did with my mom and all that stuff. And little
My
known
audio
thing-
went out. Sorry.
And a little known thing is that because I'm basically killing the fourth wall right now. Rob's had conversations with me and Sean. What was it, earlier in the middle of the pandemic, like April last year, about his own show and stuff, and we were pushing him to do it, but Rob wanted to make sure it was perfectly fine and perfect for him. And yesterday was like the end all be all, and it went really well and was perfect. I mean, that's the detriment. No, I'm not going to say detriment, because every time I say it, it's the wrong meaning of the word. But it's a compliment for Rob because of the fact that how hard he's worked on it and how much he's into doing it. So, and like Sean said, the watch alongs and stuff like that, it builds confidence over time.
Yeah.
So, but what do you have on tap today, Dong Lord? Hey, at least this time I gave you a better intro than the last one in September.
I'm actually taking care of my wife today. She got her second vaccine shot and is feeling super, super, super under the weather. So taking care of her. I've got a neck issue right now, so I'm going to rest up on it as well. But not much. I'm actually going to try to take the day off a little bit, but about to head that way now. So I definitely wanted to tell you happy birthday and thanks for letting me swing by.
I just want to ask before you do leave, based on Twitter this morning, how is the AEW job going? Do you like Jacksonville? What is your favorite thing about Jacksonville?
Well, I wish they'd help me get my credit score up a little bit. I'd like to buy a house. So, I mean, it's hard making this trip from Ewing, Kentucky to Jacksonville every single Wednesday or every other Wednesday. That's our taping schedule. I'm so sorry. Tony Khan, get me that credit score up. What the hell, man?
Well, this show's going on the road, so you never know. It might end up in Kentucky at some point in October, but we'll never know. Because I am traveling, whether this whole thing is still happening or not, because, well, I have 21 days of vacation at that point, and I got to get used to it. So, but like I said, while I have you on, I appreciate everything you've helped me with, Sean, and hopefully down the line in the year, I know your obligations are shortened, but hopefully we can do something where, it makes everybody laugh, and I can give you a better intro than the last one in September.
Well, no problem, man. Happy birthday. It was fun being on with all of you guys, and I appreciate you all.
Take care of yourself.
Appreciate you too, man.
See you, fellas.
Buddy. See ya.
There's the Dong Lord himself. Global
Can you die
senpai
happy now, right?
sensation.
I just can't believe.
I mean, I hope I didn't oversell that. I mean, that was one of those things where I was like, hey, being on there, that was pretty cool. Like, we actually had a conversation. So Twitter's one thing, but you got that too. But no, that wasn't like my dying wish. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
Literally, the one time before this I had been on camera with Sean was when I had been on Throwback show on a Tuesday night earlier, and then I'd gone to work, and I'm listening.
That was the night of the round table, right?
Yeah, and I was listening, and then all of a sudden Sean pops in, and I'm like, all right, well, I need to do this, and I had to go right outside to get a better cell signal. And I pop in, and Hannah's there, and she goes, aren't you supposed to be at work right now? And I'm like, well, yeah, but I want to pop in here real quick a second. That was when I first told Sean about the shirt and that it was coming, and then COVID hit me and stuff, and I explained it all in the letter. Speaking
of which, I should send her an invite, considering she's one of one of the contributors of the show too. So,
yeah, I just like the fact that like through this and this great service that you provide us, that like all these people that I talk to on Twitter, I get a chance to actually have like actual like voice conversations with them. Like that's the coolest thing with this, because like with this pandemic and all the stuff of us being shut down, the only real conversation I ever get with people is like 13-year-old kids and then my wife. And I mean, it's not,
And your kid.
yeah, but she's 4. So I
Well,
mean,
sure, yeah.
I don't get to like discuss wrestling in a real conversation. Everything's through text. Because
Yeah.
like even with my brother, like we'll send Snapchats back and forth to each other, but we don't do like this. So I mean, this is cool, man. I appreciate how, you know, this platform that you've created for everybody.
well, it makes more sense because if anything, it gives other people the option and the chance to do more things. Okay, there we go.
See, I think it's more than that though, and like I said a little bit of this in the tweet I sent you last night, which I think I was like the first person to wish you a happy birthday on your birthday. It was like right after midnight. I was like, okay, I get to be first. Third shift life, you're always up at midnight. But you know, the fact of the matter is I am lucky to have you as a friend, Pat, because like I historically
See this show that today, I give permission to everybody to break the fourth wall. You can use my real name. I don't give a shit.
yeah
I don't even know your real name. No,
Really?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
And by the way, here's another one. DJ and I, we've talked in chat all the time for months. I've never actually spoken to him. What's up, sir?
What's
By
up,
the way,
Ray?
DJ, pass it to DJ, new member of the weekly show whenever he feels like it. But I
Whenever
feel like
I'm trying to get switched from. I'm on second shift, so I work 3 to 11, so it's hard for me to do
Oh.
shit. So I'm trying to get shift. I'm trying to get to first shift or third shift. That way I can come in on Tuesdays.
okay.
And stuff.
Here's my advice. First shift, you think you want first shift because of the day hours being able to sleep at night, and that's true. But the thing you don't take into effect is that then you have to wake up early. Whereas third shift, you have a built-in Sunday afternoon nap. It's built in. You have to, and you also make more money on third shift than you do on first. So keep that in mind.
Oh yeah, because I worked all shifts. I work retail, so I work fucking everything. But now I'm working in a plant, so I'm new to that.
Yeah.
I've only worked there like 2 months now. So.
But I wanted to just to say, Pat, that you know I historically just get along better with females than males. Just you know, I was homeschooled with 3 other girls, like who were 2 months younger than me. So I was never one of those boys who ever thought, "Ooh, girls, cooties." Like I was never one of those. I was never one of those boys. I was always like, "No, they're cool, they're fine," and I get along better with them. And there's only been one other time that I was part of a community where I felt really connected with people and like we were friends, and that was, funnily enough, and this ages me. It was a Homestar Runner fan forum way back in like 2003 to 2007, and you know, and there may be some people here going, "What's that?" Well, exactly. But if you were around at that time, that was big. That was big. But ever since then, there'd be people I would talk to at work, but I'd come home and I wouldn't really talk to people. And this community has meant a lot to me. You know, it helped me when I was going through my separation and then my divorce from my ex. It's helped me with so many other things. And I can say to every single one of you here, and those who are in the chat, and even those who aren't here right now, but you know who you are. I'm so grateful to have you all as a friend. And I really have to say, Pat, you have done a great service in doing this show and helping to bring us some together. And people do things like, I never would have thought a month ago I would be really into playing Gears of War. I'm like, I tried it.
Speaking of video games,
there he is.
Check out Steven Jensen's Twitch at twitch.tv Fight Talk.
What's up, guys?
He always,
Happy
he
birthday,
always
Pat.
streams when I'm either at work
Thanks.
or asleep. I never get to see him.
Thank
It's
you
been
very much.
it's been a minute since I've been on Twitch outside of like the Fightful Twitch channel on Tuesdays, so you're not really missing anything. But
Hey, I should become a promoter for the Steven Jensen brand, considering the fact that Twitch should be up and running like crazy right now.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm gonna get back on there more often when now that Retromania is out, because I definitely want to play some Retromania wrestling, but I haven't. I'm like on the fence because it came out for Steam, but I really want it for Xbox, so like I don't want to buy it twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
That's kind of where I'm at too. I want to wait until it's on PS4 and then be able to get it.
is it not part of the Xbox Play Anywhere? Is that not?
It
is that
got
not-
delayed like a month or two. They said. So.
What games are you playing, Rob,
Right, I
by
know
the way?
that. I just didn't know if you bought it on PC, unless you get it through Steam instead of like the Xbox store on console.
By the way,
that's
what
right.
games
I didn't
was
think about
Rob playing though? That's what I want to know because he's all sitting back relaxing.
I'm playing the very. It's very tough. It's very. You got to put a lot of time in it. It takes a lot of patience and thought. It's NHL 21. Sports.
I was gonna say Avengers.
No. The thing is when I love video games. I mean, I used to run a video game store, but I kind of got out of it for a while because when I must have not done really well at managing it because it closed. but it was one of those things when that store closed, it kind of broke my heart. So I stopped playing video games for a while. And the one thing I always got back into was either Madden or hockey. So I'm playing I haven't played Madden this year, but I've been playing mainly sports, but I will start picking up Red Dead Redemption pretty soon. I've been wanting to play that again. So
Too.
2. And then after that, I'm not sure. There's so many games out there. I know the new Star Wars games look pretty cool, or newer Star Wars games. So whatever is new to people now is or older now to people. These are newer to me.
New to him, yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at too. Like I'll play the Maddens and stuff, and I haven't really played much of this year's either. But I like playing those. I'm excited for NCAA to come back because I know I will play that. But when my daughter was born a couple years ago, it really pulls you away from being able to have time to do that too. So I've got Red Dead Redemption 2. I got a little ways into it, and then that's one of those games that it's so storyline driven, and there's so much to it that when you go 3-4 months in between getting a chance to play it, you forget everything that you're doing, and then it's hard to engage yourself back into it. And I saw someone put something online of they need to have dad versions of the games where when you pick it back up for the first time in 3 months, it goes, hey, here's what you just recently did. Here's a basic on controls. Now keep playing. That's a thing that I would need for some of those big games, but those are really fun. I do love those.
It took me 8 years to beat Mass Effect 3 because of my kid. I finally beat it for the first time last year. So, Ray, I understand that feeling.
So before we keep going and talk about gaming, I want to say this because he's there right underneath me right now. Because this is like the Brady Bunch kind of thing where everybody's looking around. I want to say, and if I know if she's watching, and I want to say I know she's not doing camera for a little while because she's on maternity. Steven and Jesse, I really appreciated those 2 weeks you guys had me on recently. I try getting in those chats and support you guys as best as I can. Yeah, you're Marsha. Okay, we get the point, Anakin.
Can I be the one that hits you in the nose with a football?
But
no, that's Marsha. Marsha's the one who gets hit with a football.
Yeah,
but, Marsha
can I hit you in the face with a football?
Okay,
Everybody wants to throw their balls at your face.
Literally, Marsha's the only one the only name I can remember. It's
How about we call
Brady Bunch?
Okay, speaking of which, before I'll say what I need to in a second. Does that make Anakin Shayna Woodley after that interview that she did with Jamie Fallon about her engagement to Aaron Rodgers? She's like, oh yeah, he likes to throw balls and be hit by balls, and he can throw fast balls, slow balls, big balls, short, small balls. like all of a sudden you like she's
I
like,
don't understand the reference.
one of the lines is that she's like, yeah, he even throws the balls at me.
That's weird. Aaron Rodgers' wife.
It's the engagement, yeah.
Oh, fiance.
But
I wanted to ask Steve. Go ahead.
But I want to say this is that I try getting in the chat when you guys are on as best I can, but I appreciate all the support you guys have done behind me, behind the show. And I appreciate, you and Jesse a lot, like I do with Sean and stuff. If I have questions, you guys both will answer them. I know Jesse doesn't read her DMs that much because she's busy.
Yeah.
She probably also gets a lot of really dumb ones too. So.
Yeah, and I get that. But also, I just want to say thank you for being on. Also, for being on with me for Christmas, because that was awesome too. Yeah. But anything you both do, I have your back and vice versa. But I wanted to say, while it's my birthday and stuff, say thank you very much. And I appreciate you both more than you'll ever know.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, man. That was really nice of you to say. I mean, we like having you on the channel, and you've been one of the biggest supporters of our show. I can't believe we've been doing it for almost a year already, but you're like almost always in there. And yeah, man, we can't thank you enough, man. That's why I do this kind of stuff too. Like whenever you got stuff going on and I've got time to pop in, man, like, you got my support as well. So thank you.
Yeah. And it's crazy that you guys have been doing your show for almost an hour almost a year on YouTube. And I'm not that far behind you guys.
Yeah.
Like literally May 26th, which is actually a Wednesday night, which I'm not doing my show on Wednesday night. You think I'm crazy to go against AEW and NXT? No. But it's going to be fun to get to that point for you guys, and it's going to be fun for me because I never thought this show would get to a year, and it's getting closer and closer and stuff. But like I said, I never thought I'd be 40 either.
Right. Yeah, for real, man. That's a trip. I'm 32 right now, and like 40 is like a whole nother milestone, man. But you're still fucking young and in shape and shit, man. You're still good to go.
I'm fluffy. Who you shitting?
I'm trying to be nice, Pat. But that happens to all of us. Anyone, and y'all can attest. Anybody who has to sit in a chair for like a long amount of time, especially if your job is like behind a computer or from home or whatever it is, it's hard not to get a little fluffy. You know what I mean? I'm guilty of it. Happens to me. It's happening to me right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's more so like every time somebody's like, "Oh, your build" and stuff like that, I'm like. When I was a kid, I got told I was fat constantly. I was 4'8", and this has happened when my parents got divorced when I was like 9, 10. By the time I was 11, I was about 5 feet, 160 pounds. And that's from eating. I ate like 3 loaves of bread in one sitting just because of how depressed I was. Mm-hmm. But it literally is, everybody, I joke around it about it. That's a defense mechanism. Like, now here's the story. I don't think I've told Steven this. I think I've told Rob this, but I haven't said this out loud. May of 2002, which was the day Star Wars, I think I told Steven this story about the whole because I got high kind of thing.
Because I got high. Because I got high. Because I got high.
There's a point.
Absolutely. One of my favorites.
There's a point to this. So I dislocated my shoulder. I had a seizure, and where the wall in the computer desk in between was a metal file cabinet. So I wedged my head into it. Basically, fell right in there, and was already seizing. I got up. Somehow they said I got up, and I popped it back in. So they gave me liquid painkillers at the hospital and liquid Dilantin. And Dilantin's an epilepsy med. And don't ever take that. If you have epilepsy, don't. Just request something different. I'll say something else about that later. But I got rolled in. I woke up delirious, and my mom, God bless her soul, literally went outside to have a cigarette, make sure I was okay. She had a friend. And one of my friends walked in, and I'm like, is my mom gone? And Adam's like, yeah, she went outside to have a cigarette. I was like, are you sure? Yeah. He's like, yeah, she's gone. My mom's friend's like, yeah, she'll be back in a minute. All of a sudden, I was like, I was going to clean my room. And then I got high in the middle of the ER at Lowell General. Literally screaming because I got high in the middle of the thing. Hooked up to 2 IV drips and stuff. My mom comes in and she's like, you're getting a frying pan when you get home. I mean, that stuff like that happened. Or one time, I was talking to Anakin before everybody popped in. My buddy Mark almost broke his wrist on the old Jeep steering columns, the ones with the metal body and stuff, and he almost broke it because I was almost having a seizure. And I quoted I was in the ER and I had my blood pressure was like almost 200. And I looked at the nurse, very gorgeous nurse, and I quoted the Animaniacs line, "Hello, nurse." Roddy just walked out shaking his head. Like stuff like that's a defense mechanism to calm everything down. So, I mean, those are stories like people are like, I can't believe you did that. I'm like, it seemed perfect at the time to sing because I got high in the middle of the ER. I mean, I'm sorry. I was just being honest, But I mean, have any of you guys had any of those types of stories where you end up in a situation where you're just like, you had to make just crack a joke or something like just to relieve the stress of it?
When I got my wisdom teeth out, I ripped my IV out and blood pretty much squirted all over this room, and I ruined like a painting. It looked like somebody just got like, it wasn't like that like awful, but it was like a good like on the wall for about 6 feet, like you could just see yeah. And what's funny is I was working at Verizon Wireless at the time, and this about 2 years later, the one of the partners at that office came in, and he told, like, when you're trying to sell stuff, you talk to people, you see what they do and stuff, like, obviously. And he told me like he worked there, and I go, well, I have an embarrassing story about that place. And I told him, and he's like, yeah, that cost us about $700 to repaint. And like, and he goes, insurance took care of it. But he's like, it's good to meet the guy that did that. He goes, we make sure he goes, we changed our policy now. We have to make sure that when we don't leave people alone with their IVs, like right after they wake up from surgery. So, I mean, I didn't have a cute nurse or anything, but I take pride in that I caused damage to a dentist office, I guess.
You caused a permanent change in policy. That's pretty big. I've got one too, actually.
But I'll be honest, that happens in a lot of places after I leave.
Well, I mean, full disclosure, he wasn't wearing pants on his show yesterday, so.
No, I was not, but I got him on now.
The most policy change that I ever did was senior year of high school for me. I went to a really small private school. Like, my graduating class was 19, which was.
I know your area. Where did you go?
I went to Calvary.
Okay, yeah, very, very small. Can confirm.
Yes, which at the time was the largest graduating class. Since then, it's been like 27 or 28. And 2 years before I graduated, it was a graduating class of 4 girls. That's how small the school was. So, and they had said.
So basically, you're just admitting you did not have gaming in high school.
Oh, heck no. No, I did not. I asked out a girl that I like to our banquet because it was a Baptist school, so you can't do dancing. So instead of prom, it's banquet. My junior year, I asked out a girl that I liked, and she said no. My senior year, I asked out a different girl, or I was planning on asking out a different girl, and she sent the girl that I had a crush on in 10th grade to me to let me know not to ask her because she didn't want to feel bad about turning me down.
Oh, ouch!
Oh, if we go into stories about like being like crushed by your dreams, then I have a lot of them.
Okay, no.
Policy change.
We're not.
Senior year.
We weren't even talking policy changes.
That's what Rob said.
He was talking about crazy injuries.
Well,
right?
he said he changed.
I was saying for what the question was, and then we'll change the direction because we just admitted, and Anakin's gonna be on with me pretty much all day, anyways. So what is the craziest thing that's happened to you like that, where you just had to use comedy to break stress or anything, Steven?
Oh no, you keep going. Go ahead. You weren't finished, right?
Okay. No, I broke my leg like 8 years ago, and it was like
You were
right
telling
bef-
Tim about that too, right?
Yeah. It was like right before New Year's, like 2013. And I was working at Sherwin-Williams, and I was getting ready. I was doing a delivery for one of our contractors that we had worked with, and I was loading up the delivery van with stuff, and I was walking through the parking lot. Parking lot was a little icy. Slip, fall, break my leg. Right, broke it in 4 different places. Go into the ER and all that stuff. The surgeon that I had, he used to actually be the team doctor for the Miami Heat. So he's worked on Shaq and me, and that's awesome. But he told me, he goes, I've never seen anyone break their leg this bad doing something this simple. And I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing. But where the humor comes in is that I called my, at this time, fiance and say, hey, you know that whole like forever, for better or worse, sickness, health thing? She goes, yeah. I go, well, we're going to test that real quick. And she goes, what did you do? And I said, well, I just slipped at work and I broke my leg in 4 places. What makes this funny, not only is that sickness and health, we had gotten engaged less than a week before. So it's like, hey, hooray, engagement, broken leg. You have to take care of me for 6 months while I learn how to walk again. So the humor was not funny to her, but had to find a spot for that.
Sorry, just 1 second, fellas.
That's all right. I'm upgrading now because we have people popping in. So hold on, guys. I'm doing this quick.
So, like, the one thing I'll say is, so Shaq, or he worked on Shaq and you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Anakin,
So-
I'm going to pop you down for a second, okay?
Go for it. I'll refill my
So
water.
there's a good chance he will be working on Shaq again on Wednesday or Thursday.
I'm trying to get everybody in, so just bear with me because I'm
Hi,
putting my
Hannah.
information in.
Hi, I'm driving, so I just wanted to pop in and say happy birthday.
Thank you.
And I hope you all have a good show. I am on my way to my waxing appointment, so I cannot stay.
Nice.
Well, I'll be on later tonight, so if you want to pop on, you can too.
Okay, we'll see. I'm laying flooring today when I get back too, so it's a very exciting day.
I'm getting my Brazilian later, so this works out perfect for both of us.
Well, I want to, while she's on, and I want to say this real quick, is that, Hannah, thank you for being a part of the show over time. I appreciate everything you've done. And like I said earlier, thank you for being one of the first people to welcome me into the community.
Yeah, you caught me on a day that I was nice. Not very many people.
You've always been nice to me, though.
I'm just not nice to most people.
Yeah, but you've always been nice to me, and I've been doing the same thing to you. So, I mean, it's, justified.
Yes.
So,
She's never been mean to me. So,
but
Okay, I am actually probably nice to most people. I like to use people as the butt of my jokes, so that's the problem.
I feel like you don't be mean to somebody unless they deserve it. Like, if you're
Yes.
going to be a douchebag, then you'll be mean. But again, they deserve it at that point.
If someone is a very close friend of mine, I like to bully them, but it's with love. But other people, they deserve it. So, but I am on the highway, so I am going to sign off here. I hope you guys have a good show. I will be listening to it through the speakers on my car. So.
all right, like I said, if you feel like it, I'll be on with Anakin playing Gears later. So if you want to pop on, you can.
All right.
All right,
Bye,
thank
guys.
you.
Yeah.
Hello, Aaron. Anakin's still waiting.
Hey, happy birthday, man.
Thank you. What I was going to ask you is, can I hop off for a sec? I'm going to upgrade the stream right now in the middle of the stream, and then I'll get everybody on. Okay.
Okay.
So-
Just, okay.
I'll send you the link. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Hey, feel free to pop me off for a second, too. I'm going to go check on my kid just to make sure she's still good. So,
All right.
That's just still alive.
She left. She had enough. She's like, he's on this stupid podcast. I need some Fruit Loops. I'm just gonna go to the store and get my own.
Well, I figured I'd upgrade this thing for once. Return to the dashboard. Broadcast live.
Hey, pass it. I don't know your first name, but what is the poster beside the Batman? I'm just curious.
Oh, it's a blanket. It's a Buffalo Bills blanket.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a towel. I couldn't tell, or not a towel. I thought it was a poster, and I was like, I can't tell.
It covers my window because I'm too cheap to buy like curtains. So.
Oh, I know all about being the cheap. I got that. I'm pretty good doing that myself. So.
Then I got a Huffy that I found next to a dumpster.
There you go.
It's in really good condition. I just need to fix the brakes. My tires are good. It looks nice. It's a nice looking Huffy. Just the brakes don't work, so I gotta use my foot.
So I just want to say real quick, I find it just a little bit ironic that one time when I popped into the show and Hannah was on and I was in my car and she said, "Are you driving and talking at the same time?" And I said, "No, I pulled over." And she said, "Okay, good, because that's not smart." And here she is now.
On the highway.
Here's Hannah now doing it. So there's the Pearl Man. What's up?
Hello, everybody. Of course, I walk in at the moment when the birthday boys. There he is. Happy birthday, man! How you doing?
Thanks. Sorry, I was upgrading StreamYard at the same time.
Pearl, I just need to say you had the better draft choices. The dumb overall. Although Spencer beat you in the video games, but overall you had the better ones.
By the way, Hannah just said this to you.
Yeah.
If you have Mew or Mewtwo, you're automatically winning.
But I want, like I was saying earlier, your side. I'm going to say this to Pearl because of the fact that I know he likes to slap the bass a lot and stuff. But but I said this to you before on the show you and Tim did, and there was the podcast recorded and stuff, and I still mean it to this day that you are probably one of the most influential people in the community, and I learn more stuff daily about what to do and how to improve every day. So, like, if I have a tech question, you're more welcome to just be like, "Hey, hit me up," and stuff like that. But I appreciate everything you guys do. And I think when you guys announced your show, you and Tim, I was the first one to be like, "Hey, come, let me help. Let me do something. Let me, push it forward for you guys or something."
Yeah, for sure. It was very much appreciated. And all I got to say is there are better people to look up to in this community than me.
Thank you. Well, I really appreciate that.
That's right. Rob Wilkins is a great example.
I was waiting for Rob to say it. I was waiting for him to say it.
We have two musicians on right now, too. We got Logan on right now.
Oh, damn. I see those guitars.
Oh, man.
Getting the band back together. Let's do that.
That's right. We're going to have to set up a band.
This ain't no freaking making the band. I ain't Diddy. I don't have that money.
Not yet.
Like I'm getting a lot of feedback.
Making the band. That's a pardon the pun throwback.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyways, thank you for coming on, Logan, by the way.
Yeah. Happy birthday, man. I just wanted to pop in. The wife wants to go shopping, like I said. So she's already been yelling at me. And I got like 2 minutes to say
I'm loving this upgrading aspect of StreamYard now. I just like, oh shit, I forgot. I have to freaking upgrade this thing for a night. And 1 month, $25. Why not?
I take advantage of it.
Yeah.
I do too.
Do you guys see Daniel Bryan's quote on Talking Smack today?
I just saw the tweet from Fightful about it. Yeah,
I didn't see Talking Smack yet.
Oh well, I can tell you the quote if you want. Otherwise,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's Daniel Bryan talking to Paul Heyman. He goes, "I'm going to take what's mine, and that's the reign that I've had before CM Punk, and that's the best damn wrestler in the world."
Oh boy,
I liked it. That was cool.
I will reserve judgment when it comes to.
It's I just like
Smack versus Canon.
Yeah, but I still
back.
I still like that they do that. Like, even if it is.
Hannah, like I said, you're welcome to come back whenever you feel like it. If we're still on,
even if it is canon, I still like hearing that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's like kayfabe, obviously, but it's still like that kind of stuff. I like. So I thought it was a good.
Talking
It
smack.
gives something.
Yeah.
It gives something for people to talk about. So I like it.
It's
I
authentic.
haven't-
Talking smack feels authentic.
See, I
It
haven't
feels real.
really watched Talking Smack since they stopped doing it the first time, and it was right after SmackDown. There's just something about having to then watch it on Saturday mornings that's just a little weird to me.
Yeah.
Well, like I
It is.
said,
I agree there.
because I wanted to say this, but the
Oh,
well,
man.
you might
Seriously?
you might end up getting a Kelly Clarkson moment or something. But I
No,
literally,
No,
I
she'd yell
literally-
out, "Oh, Adam Pearce!"
but I really want to say it to both Steven and Joel. I really appreciate both you guys because I know you guys have some time to do stuff too. But especially with Joel, with like the dedication show from my mom, him and Tim didn't have to do that. You know, they could have said, "Well, you know, we don't have the time to," or whatnot. So that meant a lot. And then, you know, Joel basically being there if I need a question or anything like that. Yeah, you say there's other better people to look up to, but you know, if I have anything or need help with anything, I know you're going to be there. So that's what a real friend is.
Hey,
And that's why the community, everybody in the community is a good friend too. So
I would ask Steven a question. Who do you think's going to win the Gain Rosen? I can't ever say his name. Are you watching that
tonight? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a
Who do you
good
think's
fight.
going to pull that? Yeah, it looks awesome. I'm going to watch it myself.
Yeah, I'm going Rosenstrike, but like Gaines looked really good. It's kind of like more of a like Gain has a lot more ways to win, but Rosenstrike he's like super powerful. So like if he can finish the fight early, I think he'll finish Gain. But if not, it's a good fight. I'm taking Rosenstrike, but it's one of those things. The longer the fight goes, the better chance Gain has. If that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, it does. So I was just curious because that one looks good. And I even looked at the odds, and I already forgot who was favored, but it's close. So that's why I'm anxious to watch it. And
Yeah.
and both fighters have a good record. I think Gaines is undefeated.
Yeah, he's undefeated, and
Yeah.
Rosenstrike has only lost to Francis Ngannou, who's fighting for the title next. So,
cool.
And the winner of this fight will probably fight Derek Lewis, who just got a knockout win last week over who did he just beat? It was really good. Over Curtis Blades, like devastating second round knockout. So yeah, good stuff. I'm glad you're watching. It should be a good main event.
Hey, on the MMA subject, Tony Ferguson. What's his next? What are we looking at here?
That's tough to know, man, because Oliveira smoked him, and then Gaethje beat him before that. But I think Oliveira is the best fighter in the division right now, like overall, outside of Habib. But you got to kind of assume Habib's gone. So like, I don't know, man. Ferguson probably like I mean, I'd be cool with him versus really. It really just depends. Light heavyweight, there's a lot of big names, and he's coming off 2 losses. Maybe like an RDA or something like that. I don't know.
Gotcha,
Something like that.
Because I know he's like built out of California and stuff, but he grew up in West Michigan, close to where Anakin and I are from.
Oh, cool.
We actually I've got a couple friends that I used to work with that like were real tight with him. Like one of the guys, Ferguson, was actually in his wedding and stuff too. So I always kind of like watching him from. What was that show that he was on, Ultimate Fighter? Wasn't that the name of that show?
Yeah, he was
Watching him
on
that and all that stuff. Like,
I think he was on the season that Brock Lesnar coached, actually. Tony Ferguson. I could be wrong, but I think it was the JDS and Lesnar season, I think.
yeah, I don't
See, I didn't
remember
realize,
that specifically, but
let's just say this much, DK. If you're near your computer, I would really appreciate for you to pop in. It would mean a lot, especially with everything and how much we're kind of alike a lot of ways. But thank you. I really appreciate it.
See, I didn't realize Ferguson was from this area. But then again, I didn't find out until 2 years ago that Floyd Mayweather is from Grand Rapids. That
you didn't know Floyd was from Grand Rapids?
No, I don't pay
Come
attention.
on, man. You got to know your local area. But yeah, Tony
I don't
Ferguson,
pay attention to boxing.
Ferguson went to Muskegon Catholic, and then he did college wrestling at MCC, Central Michigan, and he ended up at Grand Valley too, which is where I was at too. So we followed a lot of that same trajectory.
He went to Michigan Catholic. Oh, that explains a lot.
No, Muskegon.
Oh, Muskegon Catholic. Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
By the
Muskegon
way-
Catholic. That explains a lot.
Who was the one talking about Adam Pearce for a second?
Wasn't it
Because
Anakin
that was
brought him up?
Hannah's reply to that.
Oh, because you said Don, that we were going to get a Kelly Clarkson moment.
Yeah, I know.
And
but
I
that
said-
wasn't-
Then I said no, and I said that no, she'd be screaming out dumb Adam Pearce's name instead. And then she
Yeah.
responded ... And so then I said kidding, and then she said that.
But literally, with everything going on in the world and stuff, since I have everybody, what's your favorite match of all time? Like sports wise, boxing, MMA, wrestling. If you had to pick one match to watch constantly for the rest of your life, what would it be? I can tell you mine. Mine's not wrestling though.
What is it?
Well, go for it. What's yours?
It's more than one match, but it's a series match. I would love to watch Gotti Ward all over again, all three fights, just from just a technical aspect and stuff. Those two were on the top of their game. Yes, that's kind of a homer pick considering Mickey Ward is from my area, but just pure toe-to-toe boxing, it literally going after each other, and then at the last fight was respectful. Those three fights in general were insane. I could just watch those all the time if I had to, and I would. So we'll go from all the way up to down. Rob, what about you?
Favorite match of all time? That's tough. I really, really liked Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam 91. That's one match that I could watch a lot. I think I would go with that. It's really a toss-up between that match and Kenny Omega and Page versus the Young Bucks from last year at Revolution. They're two separate. I mean, they're obviously two different matches completely, but if I could only have one, I think just based on the history and how many times I've watched it, I would go with Perfect and Bret Hart. Just Bret's my favorite wrestler of all time, and I just got to go with that.
What about you, DJ?
Favorite? I mean, it's definitely got to be Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin. I'm just
Oh God!
This is when he gets dog food for him. No.
Oh my god.
I don't know about favorite, but the one that means the most to me is the triple threat WrestleMania match with Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, and
Angle, right?
yeah, Kurt
Good
Angle.
angle.
Yeah, that one means the most to me because I was in 6th grade and I was like a little guy, and Ray went through the Rumble and then he like lost his opportunity and like won it back and then won the title at WrestleMania. That meant like that's what really got me like, okay, I'm die hard into this now. Like a little guy just won. Like I don't know about favorite, but that means the most to me.
What about you, Mr. Jensen?
That's really tough because like MMA and pro wrestling are so different. Like if I had to pick one, it'd probably be an MMA fight. Probably Nick Diaz versus Takanori Gomi from Pride. If anyone remembers what happened there, like Nick Diaz was this super underdog. He had this like okay UFC run, and it was the beginning of his career. He was fighting the best light heavyweight pound for pound, like at that time, Takanori Gomi. And Nick Diaz went out there and picked him apart on the feet, and then subbed him with a go-go plata, which is like one of the hardest submissions you can ever submit someone with. And then after the fight, they tested him, and he failed for such a high amount of marijuana in his system that they said that he had to have smoked in the locker room before, like right before the fight. That's the only way. So he went out there just baked out of his mind and beat the best guy in the world with like the toughest submission ever. So like I thought that was, and Nick Diaz is like my favorite fighter ever. So that's probably mine.
Mike Tyson gets to do it, right?
Yeah, well, no, so they took Diaz's win away off the record books, unfortunately, because of it. But yeah, Mike Tyson was out there coked out of his mind. But let's be fair though. like you want to look at like the WWF and like the WCW and ECW when we were growing up, like they were, you know what I'm saying? Like Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage, those dudes right before the match. Who knows what those guys were doing right before that?
Yeah. What about you, Anakin?
Oh, it's hard. There's like 2 matches that it would be between. I'm trying to decide which one I would have to say. I think it would be very hard, but I think I would have to go with the last woman standing match from Evolution between Becky and Charlotte. And there's you know, when Becky started her rise in the summer, like back before she was still doing the steampunk gimmick, that was when I first started having marital problems, and wrestling was something that was able to distract me, and that was a story that really kind of got my attention. I cheered when Becky turned on Charlotte at that SummerSlam, just like with all the crowd, and then going into Evolution and watching that match, that solidified me being, saying that women's wrestling is my favorite kind of wrestling, because they were able to give me that kind of match with that kind of story, and that's why I'm not a Becky stan, but I'm as close to a stan as you could get without actually going over the top and actually being considered a stan. But it's because when I was going through such a personal thing, that's when her story as the man was really taking off and really connecting with so many people. And I was one of the ones that's able to connect with it. So I would have to say that, but a very close second would be AJ and Cena from SummerSlam 2016, because that was when I finally had a new favorite male wrestler, because I didn't think anybody could take the place of Shawn Michaels in my book. And then I see that match between Cena and Styles winning clean as a sheet, and it was an incredible match, and that forever solidified Styles as one of my all-time favorites. And I've never seen any of his work in TNA. I have yet to go and watch it. Like, I know about the Unbreakable match, and and he's had so many other really good matches there and in Japan. But that SummerSlam match was the first time for me where I really saw just how good he was. So that's a very close second for me.
What about you, Joel?
That's what I do. The promo. Oh, that was good promos.
What about you, Mr. Pearl?
Throwback. Happy birthday. This is something I would never ever do, because I never pick wrestling matches that are my favorites and anything like that. I'm not that type of person, but it's left on the table.
I get it special.
Yes, you get it special, and it's been left on the table. It is absolutely my favorite match ever. It has to be what I consider to be like the best, the greatest match ever, and that's Edge versus Orton, Backlash 2005.
Wow.
I was talking about the actual greatest wrestling match ever.
No, but that's fine. I mean, Joel likes to go out in style, and I appreciate everything he does. I really mean it. Him and Tim didn't have to do the audio podcast for my mom when we dedicated it, so that was kind of awesome, though. What about you, Aaron?
There's a lot of them, but the one I think is the most popular, of my opinion, Austin versus The Rock. Not the WrestleMania 17 one, but the first one in WrestleMania 15, because that was the height of the corporation, and after that, the corporation went downhill. But between The Rock and Austin, the two biggest stars at the time, even though they lasted about 4 years, because the Austin had the neck injury, so he couldn't continue wrestling after that, and obviously The Rock went Hollywood, but they were the biggest two stars of any wrestling company ever at the time. So I would say starting there, and then WrestleMania 17, obviously, but in the one in 2003, I didn't buy as much because we all knew Rock was leaving. Rock had one more match with Goldberg. I'm sorry, and Austin was leaving that. So the first WrestleMania match, built the biggest stars ever in WWE. I know Hogan before that, but Austin and The Rock took the WWE to the whole new level. In the Attitude Era.
What about you, Ray?
Yeah, I'm kind of with what the rest of the people have been saying of like, it's really hard because you've got so many different types of matches. You know, you mentioned earlier what was one that like really kind of pulled you into wrestling, and I had mentioned TLC, so that obviously has to be up there for me.
The first one.
Thank you, Joel.
Collectively, the first two, or even the first three, the first like 3 or 4 were all kind of in like one storyline. The fourth one was really kind of where they started getting away from it as the storyline and really more just, hey, here's a new stipulation that we have. I actually
that was the one on Raw, right?
The fourth one, yeah. I actually watched all 4 of those through a couple months ago, and it was kind of a fun to watch all together and it only takes about an hour to do because those matches were pretty quick. Like, we see so much in those matches that you don't realize that like the first one is only like 17 minutes because they fit so much in there. So those are always really good. You know, the ladder really, like, you throw a ladder in a match and I'm all of a sudden way more invested. I look at like the Edge and Jeff Hardy match that they had when Hardy finally won the WWE title. That one's up there a lot for me. Yeah, so I'd say if you put a ladder in the ring, it's probably going to be up there because, I mean, Money in the Bank too. I look at the early ones, and I to this day, I stand for the concept that Shelton Benjamin needs to win a Money in the Bank because he was so integral to some of those early matches and making those good that he deserves a win for like, hey, this is because of you. So yeah, I mean, you put a ladder in the match, and I'm going to be good with it. So.
Dude, you can't ever forget about Shelton Ben. Like the way he was so creative, the way he like set the ladder up against the other ladder and ran up it. Like no one, like you could have never even like saw that coming. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, so good.
Remember
and I mean, he took a couple of those spots where he went through the ladders too. I mean, that dude gave his body for that stipulation to work, and they've continued to not use him very well. They're using him fine right now, but it shouldn't take him until his 40s to make that happen.
Sure.
So.
See what happens in your 40s.
He's very underrated by a lot of people in the WWE because you could tell all those matches, the top stars, Triple H, when he came to Raw with Triple H, he had like 3 matches against Triple H. Mm-hmm. He had that incredible match with Shawn Michaels when he got Street Chin Music while he just tried to do a springboard kind of move.
So good.
Dude, vastly underrated by the management of WWE at the time.
I'd recommend too, like, because right after their WWE run, they did a short run in Ring of Honor, and they had a really good match against Cesaro and Chris Hero. That was like one of my favorite tag team matches of the year. So like, I got this kind of slept on because it was Ring of Honor, but I'd highly recommend checking that out if y'all are into Shelton Benjamin. That tag team match was awesome.
His run as part of Team Angle, I thought, was too short. And I know, like then, like they did, you know, the world's greatest tag team. But I thought him and Charlie Haas actually being with Angle, I think really helped push them to get to the high level that they got to so fast. And I think if they had kept that going just like a few more months, that, you know, maybe then Shelton would have had more of a defining career in WWE the first time, apart from just being a great tag team wrestler and doing high spots on Money in the Bank. Like he could have been, like he might have been able to get to that top tier level. I think if he had been with Angle for a few more months.
Well, and that's kind of the weird thing with him too, is like you look at who he worked with on a consistent basis and think like, how did he not get a better push, a better use? And I mean, we know what the answer is, but like he works with Triple H, he works with Shawn Michaels. He went to college with Brock Lesnar. Like he's got all of these top tier names that are fully behind him, that love working with him. And he never really got that proper push. And I mean, again, we know why, but like it's super frustrating.
Well, it's crazy because he was part of that same OVW class of 2002 that had
Randy Orton,
Lesnar
John Cena,
and Orton and Cena and Batista. Like he was one of the ones, and he's the only one who never got to that world title level.
And he was even tag team partners with Brock. during the OVW run. I mean, that's how.
Yeah.
I mean, they were on the same level there for a minute.
I got to see their first dark match, like in WWE. WWE brought them into Minneapolis before a Raw, and they had Jesse Ventura walk him out.
Oh,
and,
nice.
That crowd went nuts because, I mean, being at the Target Center, like Minneapolis, and Brock Lesnar was a big deal before he even left. And just seeing that, and it wasn't announced, so that made it even better. But those two teaming up, it's like, I remember me and my buddy were like, this is going to be the tag team of the future right here. But I mean, obviously that didn't
pan out. Yeah.
But
because you're in Minnesota too, right?
What's up?
You're in Minnesota too, right?
Yeah. So
that really helps. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. A huge crowd, and that's like this. And going off topic a little bit, but
hey, look, popcorn.
I hate going like out of the way about this, but it just kind of shows about Vince is how he kind of went out of touch. And what made me realize that was when he got mad at the crowd of Minneapolis for booing the Undertaker, but cheering Brock Lesnar. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was the go away show before SummerSlam, and everybody rooted for Brock Lesnar. It was the first time I've ever seen the Undertaker get booed out of a building almost. But it just kind of shows, like, what do you expect? You're bringing this guy into his hometown.
Okay, so Michigan just took over the whole show now. We've got 3 Michigan guys on the same show. And my tag team partner is finally showing that beautiful beard of his.
What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Hey,
good to see you.
Doing good. How you doing, man?
Hold it on, bro. Day by day. It ain't about me. It's about birthday boy, man. Happy birthday, brother. Happy 40.
Can you make a birthday promise with me that by the end of the year, you'll be on the show at least once? Because I've been itching for you to be on and start laughing and cracking jokes again about stupid stuff we talk about.
Yeah. A lot of personal stuff going on over here that's been keeping me from, doing stuff. But hopefully soon I could be on a lot more, bro.
I like the DK in the background, though. That's got a nice touch.
Thank you. It lights up, too.
Oh, sick.
Well, if you're free later, you're more welcome to come on and talk trash about how bad Anakin is shooting at monsters when we play Gears later.
Excuse me. Who's the one who was getting more kills last week? This guy, who's never played Gears. Thank you.
Which Gears game? Which one are you playing?
5. We just jumped. I've never beaten any of the Gears, and he's like, "Well, I'm doing 5. You want to jump in?" I'm like, "Okay."
Backwards. You don't even know the whole story.
I told him
to be able to shoot something though.
I did tell him let's do co-op through all the series, and that way it can be a thing because you've played them and I haven't, and it's like you know what? Maybe I just need to play them with somebody to get into them. That's why I did Resident Evil 5.
I had an end to justify the means, considering I got stuck on one part, and Anakin just helped me through that. So we're just gonna start with 5 and work our way down because it's easier that way.
I beat 5 in December.
Well, do you want a cookie? Because I got plenty of freaking homemade cake here.
No, but I'll just say there in the game, there's a choice you're gonna have to make. It's gonna be very heartfelt choice because it's gonna.
See, I already know about that. I know enough about what's happened. I'm like, eh.
So now that he's on here and stuff, I wanted to say this much, and I've already said this on the podcast. I've already said this and I'm not gonna make him cry because I would start crying. DK, I got nothing but love for you, man. Like I said, you and me joke as a tag team and stuff like that, but you're always not far from my thoughts. I've texted you a couple of times to check on you. You have a habit not replying. But I know you're listen,
depression is really real with everything I got going on right now, and I got text messages from my dad I don't even answer. Like it's nothing personal. It's just a lot going on, bro. We could talk about that off camera.
No, but what I was going to say is I know life gets crazy and stuff like that. You have a lot on your plate, but at least he'll be like, hey, that crazy guy from Massachusetts is thinking about me. What the fuck is he thinking?
No, I appreciate it. I got my birthday coming up on Monday, and just gonna sit back and watch 3 hours of trash called Raw.
Well, why don't we do this then? Just because you're here for mine, and I might as well do something for you. Why don't it just to get your thoughts off of stuff? Why don't we plan something for you and me to do next week, and that way it could be something fun and dorky, and it doesn't have to be on camera. We could just sit and talk and be silly, kind of like we usually do, like everybody else in this community. I mean, hell, we have people who play Retromania. We have people who play Fall Guy. We have Gears of War fans, stuff like that. Why don't we do a huge game night? Why not? Huge Uno night would be sick if we could pull that off.
I got Uno on my Xbox. If anybody else does,
I have it on Steam. I could get it on the Xbox.
Yeah, I could get it. Really got anything. Yeah.
Xbox.
What about Warzone? I've been wanting to get into Warzone now, but I suck at it. So if anybody wants to do Warzone, I'd be down for that too.
Well, I just upgraded this too. Is that Call of Duty? He said.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man,
it's the Call of Duty Battle Royale. That part is free. You don't need to have any of the campaigns to have that and play that.
I would say this: the PlayStation State of Play was just a letdown. If you watched it,
I prefer the Warzone that's from the WWF that has Stone Cold on it.
No,
I have that actually. I have it.
Or Attitude, the sequel.
I had that too. I had those both for PS1, and then obviously like my PS1 doesn't work anymore, but I still have the discs. So if I ever
those games with that engine were terrible because I played the ECW game with Lambert and Pearl several weeks ago using that engine, and it was terrible. No,
only left, right, triangle, just to do a finisher.
Yeah, exactly. I
Isn't
remember
that the same thing
only
with Contra? Contra used to be the password to be up, down, left, right, A, B, A, B.
That was that was like the code at the menu. What Wild Boy's talking about is like the control system was so bad that you'd have to hit like 3 or 4 buttons just to do one move. The only cool thing about those games was how it was like the crowd would throw like TVs into the ring.
Yeah.
It was so good.
They had the voiceovers. Though.
Well, they had the voiceovers even back in like the Super Nintendo like WCW games where you'd like scroll over Sting and he'd be like, "I'm Sting," and like you'd just be like just little catchphrases. NWO too sweet,
And the Attitude game was like one of the first ones where you could actually like make an entrance for your person. Like it wasn't very well done, but like you could still have some of that customization. And oh man, it was so much fun. I spent so many hours on those.
2000 came out like a few months later, and it's like blew Attitude right out of the water, man. Like,
the THQ AKI, like the No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000, WCW Revenge, World Tour, like those games are still, I think those are still the best wrestling video games that have ever come out. I don't think it's even really, I mean, some like Smackdown Here Comes the Pain gets brought up a lot for the PS2, which I understand that argument. But outside of that, man, like I think the WWE games have had such like, it's like the realer they tried to make them, the worse the game, like the less fun the game became to play. So like, that's why I'm really excited for the AEW game because they're using the people that made the old N64 games. So I'm really hoping they bring that old style. Even like if y'all played the Def Jam games, like Def Jam Vendetta, those games were awesome because they were the control scheme of the N64 THQ game.
Yeah, I think wasn't Vendetta supposed to be a wrestling? It was supposed to be a WCW game, and then they closed, and then they had to just kind of swerve it to different characters. But yeah, I had the first Smackdown game that was just called Smackdown. Yeah, that was fun too. Yeah, for PlayStation.
Yeah, it's the first, like,
that was a good one too.
WWE game because I remember Mayhem had backstage, but Mayhem was a terrible game, but the Smackdown game was good.
Yeah.
Well, in the Smackdown game, like that was cool because they had like the entrance screen behind the wrestlers during the walkouts. It was a pretty cool dynamic, and the gameplay was so fast. It was totally different than the rest of them. I remember going out, like I got a PlayStation when SmackDown 2 came out because I was all like 64, and then I was like, know your role exactly. Oh no, was that SmackDown 3 or was that SmackDown 2?
SmackDown 3 was just bringing it.
Yep. You're right. But that was the thing. I was always
They got to pop out, guys. See you later.
See you, Anakin.
I'll see you later.
But yeah, that was my thing, man. I was all strictly like N64 until that SmackDown 2 came out, and I was like, I have to have a PlayStation. Like, I have to play this game.
Yeah, you got the full Titantron with your guy walking out in front of it. It was so great.
It was sick.
I was pro N64, and I used to shit on PlayStation all the time. But when I saw SmackDown, I converted to become a PlayStation user. So I bought my first game for PlayStation was SmackDown. I just had to go through that because I heard about the backstage stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting this.
Yeah, I really liked the SmackDown vs. Raw games, how you could customize your storylines and your universe and all that stuff. And to this day, I don't understand why when they switched to 2K, they didn't leave that customization in there, because now if you try to create a storyline in 2K, it doesn't work because you have the same bullshit promos that just get recycled, and you don't even get to like set it up in advance. You have to like base it off of things that they provide you, so you can't create anything. So
yeah,
that GM mode people talk about a lot, wanting that back. I don't know why they didn't. Yeah, that was the thing. The games, like, they kept getting better and then like more realistic, and then by like, honestly, I don't know if y'all try to play those SmackDown games online, but like the online is so broken that you try to get in like a tag team match with your friends and like the game always drops out and stuff. Like, if they can get their online figured out and make it a little more simple for people just to pick up and play, like, hopefully, I'm hoping 2K21 is good because I want to play the game, but Triple H, I want to play the game. But
they better make it good. If they took a year off and it's not good. Well, they're gonna get more criticism, more shit on from fans because they have the year off.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys download the Double or Nothing app, the casino game?
I haven't.
No.
I haven't either.
Mobile games though, just in general. So that's just me.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, I use my phone for music and texting my girl. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, games are so addicting on the phone, and it's wasted so much of the battery.
That's exactly why I don't do it. Is because like, to do video games with a controller and all that stuff, like, you have to sit down and make it happen. This thing is by me all the time, and if I start playing games on this, it will really never be around. And I can't do that. So I do enough on there with music and with work and all that other stuff too. You throw games in there, my face will never look away from a screen, and I don't want that.
DK just popped off like he popcorn. So if he's not coming back, I want to say it to him real quick. I appreciate you being on, bud. And you need anything, we're here waiting. You know, like you said, depression's real. It sucks.
Hell yeah.
We go through it, and everybody does at one point, and we all fight through it. So if you're gonna not come back on here, I want to say thank you, and you know, we're all here for you if you need it. And that's what a community does. That's what a family does. And like Tim ever says, this is the Fightful family. So, yeah, always around.
He just mentioned tech difficulties. So,
no, that's fine. Yeah, but still, it's just fun because like every time he did a show with me and Rob or something like that, he would pop off like popcorn. And we would literally want to start a ticker, and it's nothing against him. It's just, you know, that's how technical stuff happens. But it's funny just to do.
Yeah, I have to pop off soon for my show, sports.
Yeah, go right ahead, dude.
Yeah, it's only half an hour from now, so I can still be on for a little bit.
Yeah, by the way, if whoever's not watching, check out Aaron's stuff. He always kills it all the time. You know, it's always great to be a part of his stuff. By the way, I'm off till like Thursday, so if you need anything, just, you know, let me know. So other than that, I mean, it's been one interesting day. I could say that much. And tonight's going to be fun too, because like after the show, what I'm going to be doing is eating homemade cake from that my sister found my mom's recipe, and it's made from scratch. So that's kind of
nice,
an interesting touch. You know, everything like the frosting and the cake and stuff like that. But I really am honest. I never thought I would make it to 40. I really thought I would probably be gone by 35 or something like that. So this is like a huge thing. I feel like
you're not.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like I'm around little youngsters right now. I feel like I should get a cane and a walker, get those little tennis ball things.
Yeah, 40 is a scary number for me too, man. Like, I know we talked about it before, like me and you, but like my mother passed away when she was 39. So that was always like my thing too, of like, 40 kind of being like that age of like, when I get it's weird to think of me like outliving her age. You know what I mean? Like it's just strange to think about. But Throwback, man, like you're not alone, dude. Like a lot of people go through what you go through, and like it's totally normal to be like bummed out about it and depressed about it at times and stuff. You know what I mean? So, you know, I get where you're coming from for sure, man.
Yeah, for me, it's more so that I'm more so of at that point where it's, you know, I always thought my 40th would be the same with my.
See you guys.
Out.
Yeah, I gotta
Bye,
go.
Rob.
I'm gonna try to be back, but you guys have a good rest of your day. And my pants are still on. They will probably be on for at least another 30 minutes. I got to go out in public, so I can't promise anything. But talk to you later. Happy birthday.
Later, Rob.
Bye, Rob. But I always dreamt of my 40th if it did happen with my mom, and my mom's going to be would have been 70 this year. So the whole plan would have been like me and her joked around. Yeah, we'll go to Iceland and then we'll go to Ireland, and you know, she wouldn't be able to drink, but she could watch me and just live through me a bit, and just like that's not going to happen. So I mean, for me being 40, it's a dual-edged sword where it's like, one, I never thought I'd get here, and two, the one person that I joke around about sharing it with isn't here. So it's a major thing for me, and I'm glad I'm experiencing it. I know it's just another day, just an ordinary day, like Vanessa Carlton used to say. But that's why, like a lot of people, I wouldn't picture celebrating my birthday without doing the show. And like, you know, you talk about your mom, Steven, and you know, DK's gone through all the situations, and too, it's very hard for the first, like DK just said, Monday's his first day without, you know, without his mom. That first birthday for you personally is always the hardest one. This is the second one without my mom, but the thing is that what makes it easier is having good people around to talk to, and this show is actually the right thing to do. I didn't do one last year, but because of the fact that I didn't start the streaming until May, but I had people around me. It's just this one is just more special because I get to spend it with my friends in the community. I got friends coming over afterwards, and then I just found out my best friend Mark and Michelle are going to make me a cake, so I get to be fluffy for the next couple of days, and I have an excuse to eat a lot of sweets. So
hell yeah, there you go.
So I wanted to ask you, Stephen, how's Jessie doing with everything? Because obviously she has been on camera and stuff, but she's been in the chats for your show. But how is she doing recently?
Doing great. I mean, I know she's got some like medical things here and there, but it's nothing like serious. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, I don't know too much about like the personal side of everything she goes through, but not y'all, but just throughout doing the show with her, something that I've learned is like, because I do know her on a really personal level, like in comparison to most people, I guess, but like there's a lot of stuff that women have to go through with like dealing with things online that like I knew about, but didn't know how, like to what level. Because like she's had to deal with some pretty wild stuff behind the scenes that I know about because, you know, we're friends and we do the show together and stuff. And like you need someone to talk to about some of this stuff. But like it's kind of terrifying. Like honestly, like to be a girl and be putting yourself out there on the internet in 2021. So that's real. I've learned a lot about like that side from her. But on like a family level and stuff, you know, her newborn Savannah is doing great. Her daughter Scarlett, you know, she's doing great. The family seems to be doing great. And I'm really looking forward to having her back. It's just, I don't know when it's going to be yet because it's just so unpredictable I mean, she's got a lot going on right now. So it's just, you know, it just is what it is.
Well, I can't wait till October, considering the fact that I'll be in Atlanta and Tampa. So that will be actually happening. I'm going to actually start saving for the trip after this month. I'm going to put like $100 away here and there. So, the way my vacation set up, it's going to be literally 17 days, including if the global bastard's still happening, getting tested and stuff, about 21 total. So, I mean, it'll be well worth it. At least I get to have a drink with Steven and do my show on the road and stuff. It'll be interesting.
Hell yeah.
Four cities in literally 17 days.
When
driving.
does that start again?
I haven't decided yet. I have to get all the connections all lined up properly because the one in Frederick's my aunt's, so I have to give them a month's notice. Melissa, I have to give her at least 2 weeks notice because my niece and my nephew, my nephew's going to be 16, my niece is going to be 14, which is her kids. They're going to have to line up some time off. My step siblings are like, oh, come down, we'll cook you food and stuff. And I'm like, and that's where they live, right out of Lawrenceville and Buford, right there.
Right. That's right.
And then I have a friend in college who wants me to come down and say hi. So, I mean, I figured I'd hit Jesse up while I'm in that area. And I have a few friends that live in Florida and my cousin down there. So I figured, why not, do something for myself.
If you're having a hard time getting a hold of her, just let me know. Cause I know her messages, her DMs are a freaking mess. So I
figured as much that her DMs are like a madhouse. It's like every single idiot in the world being like, hey, why don't you do no.
You look at the stuff that people post to her on just regular Twitter and then amplify that by the fact that people think, oh, no one sees it. Like, yeah, it's disgusting how stupid some people can be.
She's shown me some of this stuff, and it's like even for like what you would imagine, it's still pretty eye opening. You know what I'm saying?
I sent her a DM after one of the shows and saying about the whole idea of the round table, and I said I didn't know if she read it or not, and I figured with all the cuckoo and the cuckoo's nests out there, she probably wouldn't have checked it or something like that. And then you told me, well, hey, she doesn't check it because of the fact that all these idiots and stuff, which is fine.
Yeah,
but at least that information is out there where it's like you guys are more welcome. I've even said it on your show. The perfect idea for one of the shows would be having you both on at the same time if the schedule's lined up.
We could totally make that happen. It's just going to be a matter of like when because really the biggest thing is that her daughter, her newborn is, it's a lot of breastfeeding and she doesn't know when it's going to happen a lot of the time. And it's like pretty nonstop right now. So like, she just can't be like on camera 1 second, then have to constantly like turn the camera off. And like, you got a crying baby. Then she has, Scarlett already, who's, very active in the house and all that. So it's like, it's probably going to be a minute before we see her on. Well, I say that we have a sponsor who's sending us a mystery box of like action figures and stuff. So like she's going to be on camera whenever we get those boxes to do like an unboxing. So that'll probably be the first time anyone sees her for a minute. But we don't know if that's going to be like this week or next week yet. But hopefully we see her on camera soon. I mean, I miss her a lot, but she just has way more important stuff going on than being on camera.
Well, till then, I'm on vacation till Thursday. So if anybody needs anything or needs somebody to hang out with, I've got all the time in the world as of right now. Cool. I just went to go renew my license, and they said because you have to have the real ID in Massachusetts by October. Now I have to upgrade my license because I forgot one form of identification. So that's going to be fun. But it's one of those things where I really appreciate what everybody does. I mean, I think for me with this show, I've broken so many grounds, and I think what you and Jesse have done, Warren has done, Sean has done, it has opened more avenues for more people to be on and have the discussion of wanting to do their own streaming shows, wanting to be able to be a part of something, like I said, DK, who's in the chat, was even said it. Jesse's a lifesaver for him. Sean, him opening up about his friend, helped me go through a lot of stuff. You talking about your mom, that helps me cope with a lot of stuff with my mom. Like if I feel down, you even said it, hit you up and we'll talk about all this stuff. It opens channels and gives everybody the idea of being honest and real with people instead of, especially with COVID, being like, being a character on YouTube and stuff like that, or Twitch or whatnot, when it's just be yourself, be real. That's what people connect more to.
Yeah. Well, that's the side of like stuff that people don't see and that I'll never, ever like really talk about. But every now and then, man, like someone who like watches or listens to like my podcast on Fightful or something just will randomly message me about like some really serious stuff. And like, I'm no doctor or psychologist or anything like that, but like I'll always message you back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, like whatever you're thinking about, don't like, let's talk about some good stuff going on right now. Like, let's talk about wrestling, blah, blah, blah. And like, and that's on like the level I'm on. I can't imagine being someone who has like 1 million subscribers or followers and stuff. And like, you know, they're probably just constantly getting messages and they're constantly doing stuff for their like quote unquote fans and supporters and stuff that we never see. So that's another side of like kind of like celebrity that I look at as like a really positive thing that nobody ever talks about, where a lot of them I think are helping a lot of people behind the scenes too. And you just never really see that kind of stuff. And that's what I like about the pro wrestling community so much is once you get to know people and you get kind of like your circle of friends and stuff, there's always room for more people to come in on that. And it's a lot of people who, like for me, the reason I got so into wrestling is because my mom was sick when I was a kid. It was like I had to have some escape to not be thinking about this stuff. And for me, that was WCW Nitro on Mondays, and that became Nitro and Raw on Mondays. And then, you know, it was like, and that's why I became such a big fan, was because of my personal life was like, you know, I was pretty depressed at a pretty young age, and wrestling really, really helped me through that. And I know that helps a lot of people. So, you know, all we can really do is help each other out and listen. Like, don't ignore people. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I think is like the biggest kind of thing I'm trying to say right now is don't ignore people, because you never know like how much that could help someone, just literally just smiling back at somebody, how that could like change their entire outlook on their entire day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's been a big thing for me too. Like, you know, the escape element of it, because I watch a decent amount of wrestling stuff. I watch a lot of, you know, the Fightful content just because of the fact that it is that escape. Because like as a teacher, like I know everyone thinks that we just babysit and that we just kind of like give quizzes and tests and all that stuff. Like if people heard and saw some of the stuff that we have to know about some of the kids,
I'm sure
that we can't say anything about, like there's so many things that like these kids go through that I have to teach, that I go, I don't care if they don't know this thing about the Civil War, because they're dealing with way bigger problems right now, but I can't say that to anybody. And like knowing some of the things that some of my kids have been through that I have to just sit on and just kind of know about, and I can't do anything to help them some of the times. And then I just got to kind of live with that. Like it sucks and it's super depressing. So this stuff that we get to do here with these conversations, with the post shows, with the Twitter interactions and all the, you know, that the reaching out stuff, I deal with a lot of depression a lot of the time because of the terrible things that a lot of my kids have to go through. And this is really kind of that fun escape for me. So, I mean, it's very much real.
How old are the kids that you teach, if you don't mind me asking?
I teach 8th grade, so that super awkward time in life too, when all the other life things that suck anyways happen, paired with all the hormonal changes and stuff, and it's just some of the stuff that these kids go through. It's not fair. Nobody should have to go through them, let alone a kid as young as they are too. So it's frustrating.
DJ's been quiet for a little bit too.
I'm just listening.
Yeah. But I wanted to say this too, because the audio side of it, the first major show that I did other than the roundtable for the audio side was with DK, and the connection that people were talking about and stuff, the genuine conversation me and him had, I'm hoping it helped a lot of people, and that's why I'm grateful for DK. That's why we joke around like we're going through almost similar things, and a lot of people can relate to. And like Steven's gone through some of the stuff that I'm going through. I'm going through the aftermath of it, like almost 2 years into dealing with, where DK is just now going through those motions. Yeah. So like somebody like Steven who's gone through it is pulling me up, and I'm pulling DK up, if that makes any sense. It's like a ladder. You're grabbing one person's hand to reach out for the other.
Well, there's a lot of people that pulled me up. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to keep returning you know, we all go through so much of the similar stuff. Like, we're all so alike, as different as we are. Like, it might not be the exact same thing that someone else is going through, but we all, man, like Ray's saying, like that would be really tough. Like, because most of anything I'm talking about is usually like more like an online thing, like someone messaging me about something. To be in person and be, that's a whole nother level. Like, I really respect it that, you know, what you do. I mean, that's in that age range too. That's tough, man.
Yeah, it's super awkward for them too. But like, yeah, you know, Throwback, you mentioned in the conversation with you and DK, you know, when you started your channel, I would watch as often as I could, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of content out there, and it's hard to like consume it all. I was watching that show. That was one of the ones where, because I was kind of every couple weeks I'd catch and, you know, whatever. I saw that one and I was like, okay, this is going to be part of my weekly routine. And then started getting involved in the chat, and then now I'm a regular on there. And I mean, that conversation, as much as it was helpful to you two, it was helpful to me too. So I mean, you talk about hopefully it helped. It did. So yeah.
See, DK, you were right, because DK is like, hopefully our stories will impact somebody. So you could thank DK more so because it was his idea for the most part. But I've got a good question, because like me being on other people's shows, I'm like, why? I'm nothing special. I'm just Pat. You know, that's how I've seen some of my life. Mostly, it's like everybody's like, oh, this girl thinks you're cute. Okay, well, I'm just me. That's it. But I wanted to ask Ray, because of me, I ask people who've never been on and stuff like that. And, you know, it's this, well, here comes, speaking of the dirtiest heel in there, if his thing's going to connect. I think the impact of me more so is just not me having the show for the most part. I think it's just like what I thanked Steven for earlier was me being on his and Jesse's show. It's letting other people get on that's never been on. Think about it this way. The first person that was on my show as a guest was Rob, and that was a disaster. Let's be honest. That first show with me and Rob, trying to get OBS to work and get it connected, that was crazy.
Dude, hey, that happens to everybody. I had that happen to me on a live Fightful. I would host, like, Warren was out for a few weeks, like on Wednesdays last year, and I that was happening to me live on a Fightful stream with like 1,000 people watching us live, where I'm like sitting there with my OBS, like things are echoing and video image sizes are getting bigger and smaller, and I'm like, and Sean's messaging me live, like, dude, what's going on with the live stream? Like, this is a disaster. And I'm like reading his messages, and Alex is like got his hands up, like, what's going on?
It happened with us on the last show, where it just like we just kept going. It just, you know, it and like you said, it happens.
Yeah.
But I think like me being on other people's show, like my first show ever doing a YouTube show was Warren's show, and I was very nervous. I was all that stuff. And then they pushed me to do my own. And I think me, out of a lot of people do this, but I think for me, giving other people their first chance to be on someone's show, and it's people in the community that never thought they would be on a show. I mean, watch, I'll ask this straight out, because Aaron has his own stuff and everything. It's a little different. But to the three people on there right now, DJ, Ray, Tim, would you ever thought you would be on a podcast or anybody's YouTube show at some point within the last year? If someone, even DK, ask them well, Wild Boy, I'll say Wild Boy because everybody's like, but if someone asked you guys within the last year, and if it wasn't somebody you were comfortable with, would you be on their show?
To be on somebody else's show, a year ago, no, because I started doing some of like the prediction shows and stuff towards like the end of the summer, but those are also even probably mid fall, but even those are like super poorly done. Like I think I've mentioned before, I pull up a Zoom call in Google Slides and I just rotate through the images and I just talk over it. But like I know that those aren't going to get tons of views. Like I'm getting like a good video, I'm like, ooh, cool, 75 views. But I'm not necessarily even doing it for the views. I'm just doing it because it's fun for me to like put together the process and to just get my own thoughts out, as opposed to trying to assemble them in my head. Getting them out of my mouth helps. And I hoped that eventually that, yeah, I'd be on something, but if you would have said a full year ago, are you going to be on? I would have been like, no, don't put me on camera. I don't want people to see me. So.
Yeah, and for me saying this too is that Ray is actually like a regular on the show. Anytime he's like, "Yo, you need somebody, I'll be on." Same with Aaron, same with Tim, DJ now down the line too. But what was your reaction, Aaron, when like I asked you to be on? Like, would you, if you thought a year ago, would you be on someone else's show?
Well, a year ago, I started to do more YouTube stuff, but it was more voiceover stuff. Then, but as the year went on, I got more comfortable showing my face and by making videos of wrestling or whatever, not just wrestling, but sports and some pop culture stuff. So I got more comfortable showing my face for YouTube videos. And then as the year went on, I got more comfortable, evident by my shows, to do some streaming by showing my face. So when you asked me to come on, my confidence was high. It was an all-time high to show myself to people by talking whatever on streams and stuff. So it built up over the year.
What about you, DJ?
A year ago, definitely no. But now, like, I want to be like all in. Like, I don't want to take the back of freezers for the rest of my life. Like, I want to get into as much as I can.
And also now the dirtiest player of the show. How's your recovery, Tim?
Well, I just want to. Well, first of all, yeah, I'm doing all right. I had I'll give you a little history on that. Well, Tuesday night, I was watching your show, Throwback, and I got sick real bad. Like 8 o'clock in the evening here in my house. I got sick real bad.
The show was that bad?
The next
Wow.
day, yeah, no. I actually had it coming through my chest. It was coming straight through my chest. I know what you meant, Ray.
Was it alien coming through your chest?
But anyway, it was coming through my chest. And the cold came through my chest, and it went right up to my throat, and then like started getting in my nose, and then like 1 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't barely breathe. I had a sore throat. 45 minutes an hour, I had to come home from rehab. I've been home since rehab since Tuesday morning. And thank God that they don't have where I actually have a lot of time saved. And by the way, what's up, Steve?
Hey, Tim, what's going on, man? Good to see you.
So, I got to go
I'm
now.
doing all right.
Show's starting soon.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
See you, Aaron.
See you.
See you,
Thank you for having me on.
So
hey,
what happened
anytime,
was,
man.
Thank you for. Yep. So anyway, what happened was, I had to go to the ER Wednesday night. This was like little after 10 o'clock at night. I thought I had COVID. Now I'm just gonna say this: I don't know if I have COVID or not because I gotta wait for a form to come. But what happened was, and believe me, guys, I'm gonna say this to y'all. It is not a pleasant feeling to have. You have one of them swabs going right up your nose, and they jam it in your nose so hard it goes right up to your. Let me get up here a little bit so y'all can see me. It goes right
It goes up to your sinus cavity. I've had it.
Yeah, back to where your eye sockets are, and it is no joke. And so I've been recovering for the last 2 days.
I've had the COVID test, right? I've had the COVID test done because I had a COVID scare. And let's just say this much. I needed a hard Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I had to go do a Dunks run just to get that taste out of my mouth.
So my brother's been like randomly selected to get tested a couple times because the college that he goes to, they do randoms.
Pearl out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it's also true. But yeah, that's those tests are, from what I've heard, they're not pleasant. But yeah, my brother's been randomly picked for a couple of them.
No, they're not. I had one.
I don't know if people are gonna like hearing this, but like we've been face-to-face learning since August. I have not once been tested. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, my brother got it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
No. I was getting ready to say. By the way, my dad and I, Throwback, we want to wish you a happy, special birthday, and you're considering my best friend and a great friend of mine, and I don't know, maybe sometime this week, maybe I can get you on my Facebook page and we can have a live show together. We can
Dude,
make that
I'm off
happen.
till like Thursday. So like Thursday I go back on the grind, which I'm enjoying vacation right now. So
Or I could
I don't
actually do
mind
one
doing
Monday.
stuff
I could actually do it Tuesday. Yeah, I
I
could do
don't
one on
mind doing
Tuesday for you.
stuff
No big
anyways.
problem.
I like keeping busy with the streams and stuff. That's
Yeah.
why I thank Steven. That's why I thank Sean and stuff like that being on the Fightful stuff and everything. It's more like I don't know, you could say, I
Yeah.
don't know if Steven would agree. It's almost like therapeutic almost.
It is.
It's like
It is.
you can actually just feel
It
like
is.
you could say what you want and not anything. Like, Tim on the chat on Tuesday saying he's going to create a heel faction not from the show now. I'm like, oh God, I'm screwed.
You're damn right I am. No, actually, it's going to help you.
No, because you never know. I've already had a Michigan invasion. Why not more invasions? But I know this much is that when I travel in October, I'm excited to see Steven. I'll be near Tim. If I was in Ray's neck of the woods, it'd be great, but that'll probably be next year. I want to do some road trips because I want to make, between 40 and 50, one of those things where it's memorable because the majority of my stuff haven't been for the most part.
Yeah. Speaking of that, so guys, my surgery. So, update on my rehab. My rehab recovery is going fantastic. It's going absolutely awesome, and I'm really recovering really well. And they're really seeing a lot of results. So, yeah, I just found out I got a bare wire on my thing. But anyway, I just hit that with some electrical tape. No big deal. Hey, I'm like MacGyver now. So I want to say, Ray,
He's like that little kid, the
appreciate you.
Dutch. He's like the little kid, the Dutch kid with the dike, putting his finger in there and just pray to God that the water doesn't go through.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to say this. I wanted to thank Ray, especially, pass it, everyone in the chat. I really want to thank everyone because, to be honest with you, and Sean and Warren and everything. And by the way, I noticed y'all like there's little wrestling little lingo I was throwing in my comments every morning after I got up from I got back home from my rehab. So I'm gonna keep trying to provide that for y'all because I know some of y'all love it. And if Warren's watching, I appreciate you, Warren, very much for doing something.
I tried sending him a link. I don't
really
think
cool.
he is.
Yeah, I don't know. He might be busy doing something. But yeah.
All I know is that all I know is that everybody, I appreciate everything you guys do. I wanted to ask this before anybody leaves. So how did everybody do with Wrestle Rumble? I haven't even looked at it yet.
I mean, I've won once ever. I do every single. I mean, that was one of my favorite things about when I started my podcast back in I think it was 2016. Was one of the first people that came on as a sponsor was Wrestle Rumble. So I do every one of their contests, and I've won once ever, ever. And I mean, it's so difficult to get that first place spot. I got destroyed on this. What was the last one? Elimination Chamber. I didn't even come close. So
yeah, no, I said Miz wouldn't cash in. I said all the stuff was just unraveled. I was like, hey, it was a good try. I don't mind doing those things. Those are actually fun.
Oh yeah, I had Cesaro winning the chamber, and I was way off.
Yeah, I did too. So, but I know a couple of people on the panel have to dip, so I wanted to say I appreciate you both. Steven, like I said, you and Jesse, I appreciate everything you do. You've always been a great friend to me and have been very helpful with everything. And, your time is very precious, so I appreciate whenever you can be on and stuff like that. So thank you.
Oh, well, no problem, man. Happy birthday. I was happy to come on here and hang out for a little while and talk to all y'all too. Good to meet all y'all in person. Get some faces with the names a little bit. So I appreciate that too. And if anybody in here is going to be free on Tuesday afternoon. I think. Let me double check on time real quick. I think 1 p.m. Me and Issa are going to go live on the YouTube channel. So I'll have Demon Diva on. So if anybody wants to come hang out on 1 o'clock on Tuesday, live on Jesse Davin's YouTube channel, JSSIDAVAN, we'll be hanging out there on Tuesday. So I hope to see y'all in there as well.
Yeah, you'll see me definitely because of the fact that I'm on vacation, so I'll be kicking it with you guys.
Good deal.
Ray, I know you have to dip too because you can hear your kids in the background. So, like I said, I appreciate you being on and being a regular. I appreciate more than anything else what you can do, and I know being a teacher, your time is very precious and hard. So for both of you, I want to say thank you. Thank you for making my birthday extremely special, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Hey, I'm just glad that she played well enough during this time to where I could be on for this long because, I'll be honest, normally when I'm on, she's already asleep. So I figured this would be a little different, but I figured, if I get 5-10 minutes just to at least tell you happy birthday, then that's worth it. But she's playing all by herself and she don't need me. And that's a good thing to see as a parent too, is that independence. So, but yeah, I gotta definitely go spend some time with her too. So I was glad I got to be on for as long as I could with you. So happy birthday, man.
No problem. I'm getting old. I need a walker and a cane.
So you mentioned the milestone, by the way. Here's another one for you. My dad turned 50 a little while back, and on his 50th birthday, the day of, in his mailbox is a piece of mail from the AARP. So you have that to look forward to.
Oh God. But again, thank you both for being on. I really appreciate it. Like Steven said, catch the show on Jesse Davin's channel, 1 o'clock with Demon Diva. And then check out Ray Callahan, a regular on the Wicked Crazy Pinfalls. Eventually, we'll be on the Wicked Crazy Crew TV on his own show eventually. So we'll work that in. And then the other thing is, before these guys dip, check out In the Mix with Rob Wilkins because he's not here on that channel too. So, like I said, I appreciate you both and very thankful for you guys being here today.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Good hanging out with you guys. Happy birthday again, Pat. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
See y'all.
See you guys.
YouTube, buddy.
Now there's two.
There's two. I was gonna leave a few minutes too. I got picked up from my sister.
You gotta head out too.
In a few minutes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna close it out soon, anyways, because we're gonna go switch over to the Twitch side of everything. Actually, since I upgraded, I might as well just do both and put all three of them and see if how good StreamYard could hold everything down.
Yeah.
Well,
to tell you the truth, I'm glad you had a great birthday, man. I really glad you did. This is the best birthday you've ever had, probably. Towards next week, so.
The one best birthday I had was like before my 20th. Yeah. Everybody's like, your 21st birthday is going to be bombed. No, my 20th, because my mom made this huge spread and stuff like that. My 30th was great too. A bunch of us went to a restaurant, which is an Italian Irish restaurant and stuff. We ended up having some drinks and stuff. But this has been an amazing birthday because I wouldn't have it any other way. I got to spend it with everybody in the community. I get to hang out with my friends later, and I get to spend it with my goddaughter and my two best friends tomorrow. And taking this vacation's been a great idea. Like after this, I'm gonna take a recharge for a little bit, and then we'll be doing the YouTube and the Twitch again, considering I upgraded now. So now I can actually do both and have 10 people on if we needed to. But DJ, I know you got to go, so tell them where they can find you.
You can find me at Passive DJ 420 on Twitter, and then Twitch and YouTube, just Passive DJ.
Yeah, and he's going to be a contributor going forward, and I'm praying to God I could get him in on his own show because that would be sick when he wants to do it. And
I've got an idea. I kind of want to talk to Ray about it. Together.
Yeah, if it's something like that. Have you seen Rob's pilot show yet?
I have not had a chance to check it out yet. I haven't even watched freaking Smackdown review from Fightful last night yet.
I was listening to it.
I just woke up right before I jumped on here.
Well, I wanted to say thank you for being here. You made my birthday amazing, bud. we'll be able to do a lot more going forward and stuff. We've still got a lot of stuff to do, a lot of great things. So I can't wait. Tim's got to go because his stomach's growling like crazy. So you'll be around, Tim. You'll probably pop in later, right? His volume's off.
Yeah.
Yeah, your volume's off. Other than that, I'm going to close out by myself for a couple of minutes and stuff and say some things. But thank you both being here. If you're on later, just swing by, okay?
Oh, yeah, I got you, bro. Have a good birthday, man.
Thanks. All right. So, as I said before, and I'll say this again, I never thought I'd get here. I literally never thought I would make it to 40. Like I said earlier, a lot of the things in my life have made me believe that. A lot of stuff that have happened to me has made me come to this conclusion. But I'm here. I made it to 40. And with 50 coming down in another decade or so, we'll see what happens between now and then. But the journey is going to be great. I wouldn't have it any other way. Be having this community, this amazing community behind my back, and pushing me to get better as a host, better as somebody, as a person. And I'm very, very fortunate and very thankful to having people like Sean, Rob, Steven, everybody that was on today. You know, you even have like Hannah, you know, even though Steven was here and Jesse's not, Jesse, you know, Tad, JJ, JL, my friends and my family that popped in, you know, people that are very instrumental for me being a better person on a daily basis. There is not one person in this community that doesn't hit me up and ask me how I'm doing. When I get really down in the dumps, people hit me up and lift me up. DK is the Wild Boy. A perfect example of a tag team partner. Whenever I was feeling out of it, he would hit me up, making sure, and vice versa. Rob has been have people think about this show. You should Sean, Warren, and Rob, and I'll name one person that's probably not watching that's working right now covering for me. Xavier Aquino. He works with me. And he's a good friend too, who have pushed me to get it. Just so many people. Rob Patel. Hey, speaking of Demon Dima, I'm looking forward to working with her in the future. Just so many good people in this community. I can't wait to either work with or do stuff. You know, wrestling perspective, wrestling plug, call it up in the ring. Fight Talk, which is Steven Jensen's stuff. You know, I'm excited if things line up to have Wrestling Story and Maeve and Glenn, both of them eventually on. I'm hoping to get that one dream I want, which would be having Jeremy and Denise and Sean on eventually, if that is even workable or possible. I want to do an all-women's roundtable and give a different perspective other than men's perspective on women wrestling and wrestling in general. I believe giving different people's views and perspectives and outlooks and stuff like that makes a bigger difference. Give other people bigger opportunities to be on my show or on the new channel, creating their own stuff and being very creative. I'm very serious. Look out for Ray and DJ stuff. Look out for, you know, people who are doing great things like, you know, Aaron Entertainment, Anakin, JNT is going to be doing stuff, you know, all these great people doing stuff, you know, people that are in my chat and like JL, Tad, you know, one of the best heels in there, Tim Trevor, you know, we've got all these great people popping in. JJ, the amount of support and love is ridiculous, and I appreciate it, and I'm grateful every day. I am very appreciative of everybody's positive thinking. the channel has grown to the point where it is well over 216 people. And when I started this channel, and this channel had nothing. It was bare boned. It was like me watching concerts, singing, a tribute to my mom, just random things. And I am very humble and grateful for all this stuff. And even if certain wishes or dreams or goals don't happen for this channel, I know that other people will get opportunities. A good example, Ray being on was one of those things. You heard him saying a year ago he never thought it would be. Tim, Rob being the first guest. I had Warren on this show, on this channel. I've had so many great people come on. I've had JJ on the podcast side, killing it. I've had him as a guest periodically too. I've had Tad on. I'm very excited for the future, and one of the people I'm very excited to work with is that she's in the chat. I've had Hannah on, which is groundbreaking for me. I've had so many great people since May to now on, and as much as everybody's like, oh, you don't have to be humble and cordial and upfront about it, I think I need to be, because I wouldn't get to this point. When this channel when I opened a YouTube channel just so I can listen in music and stuff, this channel has been up since 2008, and it hasn't been productive in content or streaming or anything major until recently in May. And to get to 40, having this going on and doing something that could benefit others is the greatest achievement I could have as a host, as a person, as an individual, to give other people opportunity to speak their minds, whether it's wrestling, sports, life, anything, is pretty much the greatest thing ever. And I really mean it. It's people who have the character of like Sean and Rob, Steven, everybody in the Fightful community. Warren, and it's immense. Jeremy and Joe, it's just insane amount. And I am very humble, very lucky. I get to learn and watch and experience certain things. And, I'm hoping I do the same. I have very good hopes for other people because they deserve the same respect in return. Like I said, Hannah's never treated me bad, and I've always been nice to her and stuff. Everybody deserves to be treated the same way, and that's what I try to do. That's my character. I don't treat anybody different. I don't judge anybody. You come from different ways. I do. I live in Massachusetts. It's different from somebody living in California, their perspective of stuff and like that. I deal with blizzards, not earthquakes. So, I mean, it's interesting. And that's why, for me, 40 is a huge deal. It's going to be fun to see where we go. I know that I said the show would be on till 4, but I figured why not end it on a positive note? Just because it makes more sense. Like I posted the other day, I got a reading from someone, a tarot card reading, which was just fun. And it said, my past is my present, my future is my past. And I don't know what that means, but I'm looking forward to finding out. And all I want to say is that for everybody that's watching, I have nothing but respect and love you. Everybody in the chat, I have nothing but respect for everybody, and everybody that's doing their own thing, whether they're going to put out content like Aaron's doing right now, Fightful doing their thing, killing it, DJ, being on, which I'm appreciated. There's Jesse and Steven killing it with their stuff, Demon Diva, killing it, Wrestling Story, everybody. I'm so appreciative and being thankful for everybody letting me in. And as corny as it sounds, like Bray saying "let me in," I really do mean it. We'll be back later on, probably around 8 or 9 later tonight. We're going to do some Twitch. We're going to be live on Twitch and on YouTube because, well, I just upgraded the channel for this, so why not take full advantage of it? We got close to 4 o'clock, everybody, so that was well worth it. Other than that, you have to go check out, all the Fightful stuff. Sisters Custom Designs, check them out. They created so much stuff. They created the shirt for Denise. They created one for here. Do so much good. Live your life to the fullest. Don't think that going to one point of an age means something. Just live day to day and enjoy it and love and be happy and joyful and jovial, because you never know what tomorrow will bring. So again, thank you guys. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the support. Me and Anakin will be playing Gears later. And then if anybody wants to join and talk trash and tell us how bad we are, let's do that. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.